Good evening.
Jorge,
Gusto en verte.
igualmente, how are you? Hi, Abe.
Baruch
How are you
Hashem.
guys? Good.
All right, how are you?
Very good.
It is good. It's really great.
Jorge, how are you?
Good. I'm done with my VA rotation for 2 weeks. I was on
Oh,
service for 2 weeks. That's why I couldn't always be available to be with you guys.
okay, now you have to be here every day.
I will make every effort.
Make it up.
Yeah.
Well, no, thank God I stayed with the DAF because I do my Spanish DAF every day.
Jorge, why don't you send me the link for that?
I'd be
I
happy
can't,
to.
I
It's
can't
it's
find
called
it.
Tashma. I will send
¿Cómo?
it to you. Tashma. Te la mando. Yo te la mando. Un gusto.
Okay.
You will find it different from the way
I
Ernie
know,
does
I
it.
used it, but I lost the
It's
link.
a little bit slower. For example, these DAFs are an hour, so you need to be ready. On the other hand, especially the guy that is doing Sanhedrin is easy to understand. His Spanish is very very clear, very easy to follow.
It's a father and son group, right?
Correct, but they have other people too, and some of the other guys that periodically take on the responsibility of doing the DAF aren't quite as easy to understand. But it's
Wow.
great. It's great.
Okay. Yeah,
They've made it a serious effort to expand so that they're trying to create a program that's to go everywhere in the Spanish speaking world.
Okay.
Te lo mando ahorita.
Okay, thank you.
Ahorita te lo mando. Se llama Jabru Touch. Jabrutuch. Jabru Touch. Ahorita te lo mando. ¿Por qué no?
Okay.
I will advertise for the competition.
Miami.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Very famous Agadita tonight. We're on Samech 68. So the Gemara yesterday said that Rabbi Kiva had learned Kishuv from his Rebbe, Rabbi Yeshua. Freit the Gemara var Rabbi Kiva, Rabbi Yeshua, Gomer Lavatanya. We have another brisa, Kishachal Rabbi Yezer. This is Rabbi Yezer ben Hurkanis. That Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, when he described his 5 Talmidim, he was the greatest Talmid.
We're DAF which one today?
We're on 68.
68. Okay. Sorry. I was a little ahead in the other one. Okay.
Vatanya, Kishachal Rabbi Yezer, when Rabbi Yezer got sick, Rabbi Yezer had been put into cherem because he didn't, when the whole story about Tanur Achnoi, where Rabbi Yezer said, a Baskol came out and said the halachas like Rabbi Yezer, Rabbi Yeshua said, Ein mashgichin bebaskol. And because Rabbi Yezer didn't go along with the rest of the halacha, they put him into cherem. So Kishachal Rabbi Yezer nichnus Rabbi Kiva chaver levakro. Rabbi Kiva and the other chaverim went to visit him. Hu yoshev b'kinav shalo v'hen yoshvim b'traklin shalo. He sat in his bed. They sat in the room outside. They weren't sure that he would be makabel their visit. Also, hayom erev Shabbos hayom. That day was erev Shabbos. V'nichnas Hurkanis b'no lachloitz tefillah. Rabbi Yezer had a son Hurkanis, and we don't midrabanan, we don't wear tefillin on Shabbos. So Hurkanis' son went in to take off his tefillin. Goar ba v'yotza b'nezifa. He yelled at his son and he threw him out. Amar len l'chaveirav. So his son Orkan said, "Kimedumani shadaiti shalaba nitrafa." It looks like my father is, in delirium. He's not in control of his faculties. Amr answer, Rabbi Eliezer said to them, "Dai tov v'das imo nitrafa." No, my son's das and his mother, they're mixed up. Heich menichin isra skila. What are they? They're worried about. They've got to be madlik the ner for Shabbos. They've got to cook the food. These are things that if you violate, you get skila. The oskin be isra shvuz. They're worried about taking off the tefillin, which is only a drabbana. Well, Kivin Sharoch Chachamim Shadaitum Yoshevaslav, they saw that his faculties were intact. Nichnasu v'yashvu lefonav meirocha karba amas. They went in, but they stayed 4 amas away because when somebody's in cherem, you have to stay arba amas away from them. Amr lehem lama batem. Rabbi Eliezer asked them, "Why did you come?" Amru lo lilmod Torah ban. We came to learn Torah. They didn't want to say, "We're coming to visit you. This is your last illness. You're going to die from this illness." They didn't want to depress it. Amr lehem, but achshav lama lo basem. Up until now, well, where were you up until now? Amr lo layanu pnai. We didn't have time. Amr lehem tamianim yamusu misa satzman. He predicted that none of them are going to die natural deaths. They will die from some kind of suffering by the Romans. And Amr lo Rabbi Kiva shali mal, and Rabbi Kiva asked, "What about my death?" Amr lo shalcha kasher mishalahen. He was the Talmud Muvik of Rabbi Eliezer, and he told Rabbi Kiva, "Your death will be worse than everybody, because you were my best Talmud, and you didn't come to learn." Not till Rabbi Eliezer stays rois of anichan al libo. Rabbi Eliezer folded his arms on his chest, and he said, "Omer oilem stays rois of shenki stays sifritor shegolin." My arms are like two of the Atzei Chaim of a Torah that now they're being rolled up, and they're never going to be unrolled. Harbe Torah limadati, varbe Torah limadati. I learned a lot of Torah. I taught a lot of Torah. Harbe Torah limadati v'lo chasarti min rabboisai. I did not receive from my rabbis afilu kekelev hamalakik min hayam. Harbe Torah limadati v'lo chesruni. My students received, the only thing they received of all my Torah was like a little bit of dye. I know 300 halachos regarding a white nega called the baheres, which is in the Dinei Tzaras. There's even nobody in the world to even ask me that, to even know what question to ask me on these issues. I know 300 and some say 3,000 halachas regarding using kishuv to make cucumbers. Nobody ever asked me this, except for Rabbi Akiva. We were walking. He asked his Rebbe to teach him how to make cucumbers with magic. I spoke a word, and the whole field got filled with cucumbers. Fine, you show me how to plant it. How do you harvest it? I said a word, and all of the cucumbers gathered in one place. Right. Amru lo. So the Chachamim there asked him the following question: Hakadur, let's say a ball that's filled with shmatis, and outside it's leather, or ha'amus, which is you make shoes on. It's like a form that makes shoes. And on the inside is the shmatis, on the outside is leather. And a kameya, an amulet, which also has leather on the outside. Utsor magolyois, like a pack like a packet of pearls with a leather bag. Umishkalos ktonos, small weights that they also wrap in leather. Mahu. Are they considered a kli to be makabel tuma? Armalan hain tmeim v'tarosin. He says, yeah, they're kalim to be makabel tuma. V'tarosin b'ma. How do you retire them? Do you do it? You put them in a mikvah or as mechates the way they are, or do you have to like open up these things? You don't have to do it. The tahara is just the way they are. What about a shoe that's on the form? Is it a kli finished? And there's no need for Gemar Malacha and their Makabel Tumor or not? Armalan Hutor. No, it's not finished. And Yatsa Nishmasu B'Tahara. He died when he uttered the word Tohar. Because his neshama was Tohar. Amar Rabbi Shmuel Raglav Amar Hutor Aneder Hutor Aneder. The neder that we all took, that we don't speak to him and we don't stay within his dalvamis, the neder has gone away because he's passed away. Rabbi Kiva was not there when he passed. L'motzei Shabbos, Pagabar Rabbi Kiva min Kesar Lelud. He bumped into Rabbi Kiva when they were traveling. Haya Makeh B'Bsaro. Rabbi Kiva was hitting his flesh because he was regretting that he wasn't there at the Ptira at Shadamo Shosas until he was bleeding. Awesome. What was that? Pasuk Halav B'Shura. So I'm teaching right now. Let me call you back. Pasuk Halav B'Shura. He made a hesped. Avi Rechav Yisrael Ufarsha. Father, you are the chariot of Israel. Harbe Ma'os Yeshli. I have a lot of money. I have no banker to change the money. Meaning, he has a lot of shilas, and there's nobody to answer my shilas anymore. So the Gemara says, Almam Rabbi Eliezer Gemara. Rabbi Kiva didn't learn the magic to make Yeshuim from Rabbi Yeshua. He learned it from Eliezer. So Gomer Rabbi Eliezer Velosover. Yeah, he didn't understand it. But Rabbi Yeshua Asbernile, then when he learned it again from Rabbi Yeshua explained it to him. So the Gemara doesn't understand how could Rabbi Eliezer utter a word and make a field of cucumbers. If you do a maisa of kishuv, you're chayiv. So the Gemara answers, "L'Islam it's shiny." Yeah, but to teach somebody what is kishuv, how to do it, etc., you're allowed to teach. You're allowed to. Shomer mar lo silmad lasos. Kisoavas agoyim hahem. Lasos yatalomad. Aval atalomid lahavin alaros. To learn the kishuv, to do, you're not allowed to do, but to teach, to understand, to teach to others, you can do. New parak. Ben Sora Umore. In Parshas Kisei, we have a famous halacha of Ben Sormer, the rebellious son. Now, first, how old does the son have to be? 12 years old when he has two hairs. And up until the time when he has more genital hair. And we're talking about atachton loyalty. We're talking about hair below, not his beard. Why do the Chachamim talk about zaken? Shedibru Chacham b'lashon nekiya. They want to use clean language. Nemar ki yeli ish ben v'lo bas. So it's a boy, not a girl. Ben v'lo ish. Cotton potter. He can't be an ish. Can't be a Once there's a lot of genital hair, so it's a very short period of time that it can be adjudicated as a ben sormor. Cotton potter shlobalich lal mitzvahs. Now, a minor, any boy under 13, has not come to the age of mitzvahs, so he's not a ben sormor. So cotton minon the potter. He said he's potter because he's not reached the age of mitzvahs. But the Gemara doesn't understand. Where do we find the Hachli boy Kralamiftri? Where do we find anywhere in the Torah where a cotton would be chayiv, where the Torah now has to give me a special dispensation to say he's potter? So the Gemara says, "Anan hachi kamina." Atu ben sor mor al chataon erag. A ben sor mor, what does he do? He just eats. He's a glutton. He's not killed for any sin he does now. We're going to say, Al Shem Soifun Erag. We kill a Ben Sor Mor because he's on the wrong derech. That before he gets there, we kill him. So since Kivan Dal Shem Soifun Erag, he's killed for future sins, maybe if you look at Nami. So maybe you would have a Havamina to kill a cotton because he's on a bad way as well. Then we says, Ben Velo Ish is also cotton mashma. When you say a son and not a man, well, you would think even somebody under the age of bar mitzvah would fit. So that's why we had a havamina. Ben asamach l'gvuroso shel ish. He's close to being a boger, but not a cotton. So he's got to be above the age of 13. He has to have genital hair. Tani Torah. That means the phallus has to be covered with hair. But you don't need the testes to be covered with hair, only the phallus, or the base of it. The cotton shahoylid, a cotton that's given birth, ain beno nasa ben sormor. His son cannot become a ben sormor. Ki ish ben means liish ben. Has to be an adult man who has a son. Velola ben, but not to a cotton with a child. Afraid the Gemara, you used that pasuk already. That you rejected a cotton from the din of Ben Soramor with that pasuk. Im kain le makra kia ben leish. What do you mean? Ma leish ben? Shmamina Rav Chisda. We learned both of the din. Maybe it's not for both. Maybe it's all of Rav Chisda. This din of if a cotton gave birth, he can't be a ben sor morim, and maybe we don't learn at all that a cotton is excluded. So that doesn't make sense as Gemara, because in Cain name akra ben ish, my li ish ben shmamina tarti. We learned both halachas. Upliga de Rabba, but this is in contradistinction to Rabbah. The Amar Rabbah, cotton ain't a molid. A cotton doesn't have the ability to be molid. Shenemar, vim ein la'ish goel. If a person doesn't have a relative to return something to him, I don't understand. Says the Gemara. You have a relative. You go all the way back to Yaakov Avinu. If he's a Jew. We're talking about somebody who stole from a convert. Once he converts, he doesn't have any relatives. If he didn't give birth to any children when he became a Jew, so he has no relative. And then the Gemara was going to go through a whole limud, which we'll learn tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow we're also going to learn at 7 o'clock the
And
Daf,
the
and at
Tzorba.
8 o'clock we'll learn the Tzorba.
Very early.